What's up, guys? Was just sitting here watching FS1, watching the disaster that is now Undisputed. And they started talking about the Celtics, and I guess Paul Pierce is on the show now, which Paul Pierce should be completely out of media because he's the most biased media member I think I've ever seen, and half the stuff he says is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, go back and look at some of Paul Pierce's quotes. I mean, they're nonsense. Um, but they're talking about Boston, and I just wanted to show you guys this because this is exactly why Paul Pierce should not be on TV, and this is what I hate about the concept of what I'm about to show you in general with media. Um, these guys have whole research departments and shit, and they can't figure out basic stats. Um, so I'm going to show you guys this. It's pretty hilarious. Check. So here we
I
go.
got one big issue with your Boston Celtics. They do all time live and die by the three. They take by far the most threes in the entire NBA. They're taking 43 a game. And if last night, if Sam Hauser can jump into your starting lineup and make 10 out of 13, you're going to win the championship, right? Okay. And every night I look up, you take 50, and if you make 25, you got me.
Here it comes.
There are nights when the two J's, when Jason and Jalen, they just go cold because it happens. They are humans, okay? And it's a live or die shot. And when your two biggest guns just go ice cold, I look at the body language of your team, and they're looking around like, now what do we do? Because that's it. That's what you are a 3-point juggernaut. You better make them, or because now you got to go through round after round of the playoffs. And if you have too many of those cold nights,
And Skip's absolutely right now about everything he said.
Guys like Porzingis to take the pressure off. He's one of the best low post players in the league. Yeah. Now you got Drew Holiday, Derek White to take those pressures off.
Listen, he is the guts and conscience of your squad, man, because he is a winner of the highest caliber. I give you that.
And you got a guy in Drew could be like, hey guys, let's take the ball to the basket. Okay. Yeah. We're settling
he
for
is that
threes.
guy. Yeah.
He is that guy.
Yeah.
And so I think just adding those two guys, having a Sam Cassell over there to say those things too, a guy who's respected on the sideline.
So it's coming up. Here it comes.
So where, yeah, they done it during the season where there's 1 or 2 games you say that. They're not going to do that, Skip, for like 7 games. They're not going to have
what?
games where they're ice cold in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Right now, right there. What? They're not going to have 4 games where they go ice cold. They're not going to do that in a series. Did nobody watch the Miami series last year? Boston was awful from 3. The entire series. What? How can you sit there and say they're not going to do that for a whole series? And like I said, these guys have all these research department stuff. How do you immediately not fire back with that? Well, I mean, Paul, they did do it last year. It's not like it's out of the realm of possibility that could happen. They just did it a year ago against what everybody continues to underrate and say is an inferior Miami team. They just did it. How? And this is like what I said. People say shit like this on live TV, and it drives me freaking crazy because you're just sitting there going, that's not true. It's not right. And people just spit out facts, and they spit out all this stuff just to make their point or make it sound good when it's not backed by any actual evidence. There's no evidence backing what Paul Pierce just said. Oh, they're not going to do that for an entire series. They've already had a history of doing it for a series in the finals last year. And earlier in this clip, he said, Keyshawn Johnson said, you guys got a history of shrinking in big moments and your best guys not showing up when it counts. And you go, who, what are you talking about? Man, just pretending like Boston doesn't shrink in big moments. They got blown off the floor in a game 7 on their own floor. How are you going to sit there and pretend like Boston throughout the course of the Tatum Brown era has not shrunk in big moments? They absolutely have shrunk in big moments. Jason Tatum was a disaster in the finals. Jason Tatum was a disaster last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. Jaylen Brown in the conference finals last year was a disaster. I mean, this is the thing that bugs me about shows like this, is the fact that it's not backed with any actual factual evidence, and it's supposed to be a debate show, but nobody has the information to actually debate and go back and forth with. Well, Paul, what you're saying is not true. They've done this before, and we have a history of them doing this before. Don't pretend like they're like everything's sunshine and rainbows, and the Celtics have never collapsed. They've collapsed over and over and over and over and over again throughout this team. What he's saying about adding guys like Holiday and Porzingis, and maybe that will help things, I agree with that, and I think that's correct. I think Holiday is a guy who can get them back into the offense and stop them from taking some of these wild shots, which maybe will prevent that from happening like it did last year. And Porzingis being a low post, they can feed him in the post and get away from some of those shots and prevent what happened last year from happening. And I agree with that, but at the end of the day, to pretend like this has never happened and it's impossible for it to happen is nonsense, because we've seen it happen. And pretend like they don't shrink in big moments is nonsense, because we've seen them shrink in big moments. And like I said, that's just what I hate about all the shows, is they talk about stuff and they throw things out there, and then you go, well, no, that's already happened. Or no, they already did do that. Or no, this isn't the first time that's happened. They just did it last year. I mean, it's just a complete contradiction and lack of information on the topics that they're talking about. And to be these $1 million shows and have all these research departments and people feeding you statistics, and you still can't get it right. Nobody in the production meeting was like, yeah, maybe we should, no, don't say that on live TV, because that's not true. But the stuff just keeps happening. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And like I said, once again, perfect example of why Paul Pierce should not be on TV. Period. He's the worst analyst. He's completely biased. He'll say whatever he needs to say to make himself be one of the greatest players of all time. And the Celtics, and everything with the Celtics is sunshine and rainbows. I don't want to watch some Celtics homer on TV who's not going to talk about the reality of the Celtics team, which is they've had lots of issues over the years. Collapsing in big moments and shooting too many threes and going ice cold for entire series and having turnover problems. It is what it is. But like I said, just completely retarded, completely, absolutely stupid commentary on this segment. And I thought I wanted to show it to you guys, because this stuff that absolutely bugs the shit out of me. And I thought you guys get a kick out of hearing how stupid this was. As always, raw takes, guys, no apologies. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe so you can see new content when it's coming out. Peace out.